Welcome in to Bet Corp, where today we're doing a mock draft. I'm on Draft Wizard, so let's go ahead and get that started. All right, we are picking from the 12 spot. All righty, now let's take a look at who went. We got Christian McCaffrey, CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, Breece Hall, Justin Jefferson, Bijan Robinson, Jameer Gibbs, St. Brown, Puka Nakua, and then Saquon Barkley. All right, looking at this, I'd like to start a little bit more balanced, but I got two players that I really like as far as round one goes. So I'm going to go ahead and start with AJ Brown. This guy in my family, we call him Pink Shoes because he was wearing pink shoes. And then we're going to go with Garrett Wilson. Let's talk about a little bit about both. AJ Brown is on an elite team, and with the new offense, if they run him anything motion or anything like that, his numbers are going to increase. He had a big year for fantasy last year. It just came in a lot of big games rather than over the course of the season. Garrett Wilson was going in the first round last year, and he might get there this year. But with Aaron Rodgers being able to play football for more than 3 plays this year, I think that his love should start to rise. And I think that he could be a game changer, and he'll be arrived, or him, or whatever the term is at the end of the season. Garrett Wilson's going to be on the map next year. More of a typical round. Derrick Henry going at the 301, giving team 1 3 running backs, and then team 5 also has 3 running backs. Teams 2, 3, and 4 have 3 receivers. So there's definitely some ways to go. So then we took Michael Pittman and DK Metcalf. We're also going with a receiver build here. This is when we're going to consider looking at different areas and see if there's any value. And so what I see is value still at receiver. And with the clock running down, I think that we're going to let that run a little bit. We're in a little bit of a dark zone with the running backs and receivers. I think this might be where some of you would really start to pivot away from the zero RB strategy. But looking at my roster, AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson, Michael Pittman, DK Metcalf. So those 5 are going to be rotating. And so, yeah, I'm not starting with my full lineup. I'm looking to get value on players. Now that it's back to me, I'm going to need some running backs. And this is where we start. I think I'm going to go with Mostert. He's going to have a starting role. Eckler, no. And then the next one, Tajay Spears. He's a sleeper for me, and he's a guy that I will be looking to draft in a lot of places. Jerome Ford, another starter for this team, for this particular makeup. Getting Jerome Ford on this team makes me ecstatic. This guy is going to get the week 1 rock. And I have no fear that if I had to start Jerome Ford and Raheem Mostert on this team, I think it would go great. I think that would be awesome, and I'd be very excited. Let's continue looking at my roster. We need a quarterback, but I don't know that I'm there yet. And looking at receivers, I like Brian Thomas, the fact that he's there at tight end. So we're looking at the value between these positions, and I think that I'm going to go here for the upside, and then for the next 3 or 4 picks, we were just going to hammer. I want Tyson Chandler. Okay. So now we're at the point here where we're looking at Brock Purdy, which was the highest riser from last year, a guy that went undrafted, to being on everyone's starting lineup. Tua, someone that is a passer, gets no love like Joe Burrow, but leads the league in passing yards. Jared Goff, this guy was the number 1 overall pick when he came into the league, traded. He plays with a chip on his shoulder. This year, Jared Goff is in domes for 15 of the 17 games. So I like Goff. Maybe he'll be there next round. Is there anybody I can't pass up on? Is there anybody at this point in the draft where you're like, well, if I didn't get him, I think that would be a mistake. There are players that have value for sure, but this is where I take Mr. Goff and let that come back to me. In a house league, which I'm practice drafting for, I'm looking for a second guy. Um, but with how many quarterbacks there are available in this league, uh, still available, then I'm not going to. This is only, I believe, a 14 or 15 round draft, but just to kind of give us an idea of what we're looking at in our final team and roster, let's go ahead and take Adonai Mitchell. And I believe we have one pick left, and this is, I'm just going to do that. And so, of course, they give us a draft grade of a C, my strengths being my bench, which was always going to be a thing when you take a bench position before you finish out your roster. If you look at my complete roster, if I was looking to get a good grade in this, then I probably shouldn't. Ooh, that's not good. So this gives us an idea of what should and should not happen, and why doing these scenarios are. Now, what I would need to happen is for us to see each player why I think that they are going to exceed their level. And in some cases, I don't know that this is the roster I would want, but that's why we draft. All right. Thank you for mock drafting. Let's get another one going, and I'll see you soon.